This AI playback is powered by Crone.
Ever notice how your house starts feeling a little claustrophobic as soon as the weather warms up?
Oh, absolutely. Liz Lane actually suggests that May is the perfect time to clear out specific items to make room for summer. It is more about creating breathing space than actual perfection.
Right. I feel like my kitchen is the worst offender. Where do you even start in there?
Kelly Moore says to target duplicates first. If you have 3 measuring jugs or 10 coffee mugs you never use, it is time to let them go. And don't forget the Tupperware without lids.
The littlest Tupperware is like a graveyard in my cabinets. It takes up so much room.
Exactly. Cher Casey mentions that if it can't be sealed, it's just taking up cupboard space. While you're at it, toss any expired food since that requires 0 decision-making.
Okay. What about the living room? I still have heavy blankets draped over everything.
Sion Palescu recommends packing away those bulky winter coats and heavy throws. Even portable heaters and seasonal decor should be moved out of sight to make the room feel lighter.
That makes sense. I also have a pile of things I've been meaning to fix, like an old toaster and some shoes.
Be realistic about those. If you don't fix it this week, recycle it properly. Also, get rid of the empty cardboard boxes from your online orders because they are just low-risk clutter.
It sounds like a lot, but I can see how it would really open up the house.
It really does. Focusing on these time areas can make the whole place feel more manageable before summer hits.
I'm actually looking forward to having a bit more elbow room in my own kitchen.
Is powered by Crone.
Ever feel like your brain has about 50 browser tabs open at once, and they're all playing music you can't turn off?
Oh, totally. Alyssa Rotuno actually wrote about this, calling it mental decluttering. It's basically dealing with everything you're holding on to that hasn't been processed or released yet.
Right, like a spring cleaning, but for your thoughts. She mentions experts like Elizabeth Hamilton Guarino, who say our environment talks to our brain all day. So like the mess on my desk is just yelling at me?
Basically, yeah. One of the biggest shifts Alyssa made was setting strict boundaries, like no social plans before 6 p.m. on weekdays. Joe Benicolas, a therapist, says that takes decision-making off your plate so you don't overanalyze every single invite.
That's smart. I always feel guilty saying no, but she also talks about writing things down as a release, not just a to-do list.
Exactly. Hamilton Guarino says the brain is meant to move things through, not hold them. Though Alyssa found journaling can backfire if you just spiral on paper instead of moving toward action.
So it's not a one-and-done thing. Like, I can't just declutter my mind on a Saturday and be set for the year.
No, it's a daily habit. She uses a pause, brief, choose method, even while walking to the subway. It's about carrying less so you can focus on what actually matters.
I like that. Just finding those small moments to reset throughout the day.
Is powered by Crone.
It is not every day you see high-ranking city officials trading their suits for rakes and work gloves to clear out local debris.
Naomi Skinner documented a significant effort by the East Project Network Committee in Wichita Falls. Last Saturday, city leaders and residents gathered on Whitney Street to physically declutter the neighborhood. It was a hands-on event where even the mayor and several city councilors were on the ground moving trash.
Seeing that level of involvement from the top down is quite a statement. Who else joined in to handle the heavy lifting?
Right, it was a collaborative effort. Members from Forward Wichita Falls and the Lake Wichita Revitalization Committee were there. The city even brought in heavy machinery, like skid steers and large roll-off dumpsters, to manage the volume of waste they were collecting.
I noticed the fire department was also on site. Were they just there for safety, or did they have a specific task in the cleanup?
They played a very active role. Fire Chief Cody Melton and his team supervised the controlled burning of large debris piles. It ensured that the combustible materials were handled safely and efficiently during the project. This initiative really showcased how different city departments can work together to improve a neighborhood.
It sounds like a successful model for local revitalization.
Playback is powered by Crone.
Ever feel like your house is being taken over by boxes of random stuff you just can't bring yourself to sort through?
That is exactly what Laura Wheatman-Hill talks about. She calls them doom boxes, which is an acronym for didn't organize, only moved.
Oh, that's such a perfect name for it. It's like you're just shifting the problem from a tabletop to a cardboard box.
Exactly. But she tried this thing called the Doom Diamond to finally clear a box that had been sitting by her bookshelf for years.
Okay, so how does it work? Is it just sorting things into a diamond shape on the floor?
Basically, you sort everything into 4 specific piles: trash, items with a home, items without a home, and action items.
Wait, action item. What does that mean in this context?
It's stuff that needs a quick task, like charging a light-up dog collar or paying a bill. You handle the low-energy stuff like trash first.
That sounds surprisingly manageable. Did it actually take her long to finish the whole box?
It took her less than 30 minutes. She even found a home for a single pencil case and finally got the box off the floor and onto a shelf.
It's a relief to know you can tackle years of clutter in a single lunch break. Playback is powered by Crone.
Ever wonder why your living room feels like it's shrinking, even when you haven't bought anything new?
Right. Ashley Needham actually wrote about this, and it turns out we don't need to knock down walls to fix it. Usually it's just visual clutter, like those paper piles on the counter, making everything feel smaller.
Oh, I'm definitely guilty of the kitchen counter pileup. Caroline Winkler says that's the fastest way to make a decent-sized room feel totally overwhelming.
It really is. Another trick Kathy Orr suggests is checking your furniture. If you keep pieces with legs that show the floor underneath, the whole room feels more open.
That makes sense. So instead of a bulky, solid sofa, maybe something more elevated. What about all the small stuff that just ends up everywhere?
Well, Martha Carroll Stewart recommends a dedicated drop zone near the door for keys and mail. For everything else, go with concealed storage like baskets or cabinets. Open shelving looks nice, but it gets busy and crowded way too fast.
I'll have to try that. It's basically about keeping the surfaces clear to let the room breathe.
Playback is powered by Crone.
Ever get that feeling your phone is just as cluttered as your actual junk drawer?
Oh, definitely. Kelvin Chan recently wrote about this digital deep clean, and it's not just about tidiness. Michael Sherwood from Malwarebytes says that digital clutter is basically fuel for scammers.
Right, like those dormant accounts I haven't touched since college. But why do I even start with my phone constantly telling me storage is full?
The easiest way is to hit the storage tab in your settings. On an iPhone, it's under General, then iPhone Storage. It actually shows you exactly which apps are eating up the most space, so you can clear them out.
Okay. And what about my inbox? I have thousands of unread receipts and newsletters.
Filter by size. That'll bring those huge attachments to the top for a quick purge. Also, if you delete an old app, make sure to actually log in and delete the account itself so your data isn't just sitting there for hackers.
That's a good point. I usually just delete the app and forget it. What's the latest on keeping everything secure once it's clean?
Move toward passkeys. They use your face or fingerprint and are way tougher to fake than a password. Use a manager like 1Password or Bitwarden to keep track of it all.
Sounds like it's time to finally scrub my digital life.
Playback is powered by Crone.
Here's the latest news from the AOL homepage. Residents looking to declutter their homes can get expert advice from Julie Brooks, owner of Peaceful Place Home Organizers. She is scheduled to present a workshop on overcoming mental blocks and emotional attachments to belongings at the Whitman Public Library.
Moving on, a reader in the Dear Abby column expresses distress over the clutter in her son's home, which makes visits difficult. The advice given suggests focusing on one task to calm anxiety or considering a hotel stay to maintain the relationship without the stress of the environment.
In other news, psychologists explain that the boomer generation's tendency to keep items stems from a post-war era of scarcity. Experts suggest that for this generation, objects serve as physical anchors to the past, and letting go can feel like losing chapters of their life.
Switching to style, expert Suyaka Hernandez is sharing how to achieve a high-end summer look on a budget. She recommends versatile pieces like travel sets and satin coordinates from Amazon to create a polished appearance without designer prices.
Next, the West is preparing for a record-breaking heat wave this week, while severe storms are expected to bring damaging winds and flash flooding to the Gulf Coast. We've covered the latest headlines in this news review.
By Crone.
Living in a cluttered space can feel like a constant source of stress. How does our physical environment actually impact our mental state.
ABC News highlights that the link is quite direct. A therapist and interior designer noted that organizing your physical surroundings can provide significant support for your mental health. It is not just about aesthetics.
Right? It seems like a blend of psychology and design. Why is it beneficial to have both a therapist and a designer weigh in on this?
The combination helps address the root causes of why we hold on to items, while also creating functional systems to let them go. This dual approach ensures the home supports emotional well-being and daily efficiency.
So, by clearing out the physical mess, we are essentially clearing out mental static.
Exactly. Decluttering your life and your home goes hand in hand to reduce anxiety and create a more restful environment for your mind. A streamlined space allows for more focus and less cognitive load. Those were the key takeaways from the discussion.
Thank you for explaining those practical links between our living rooms and our peace of mind.
Playback is powered by Crone.
If you are feeling like your kitchen is closing in on you, it might be time to look at what is actually hiding in those cabinets.
Exactly. Good Housekeeping recently looked into this with Shelby Deering and Ella Duggan, and they found 10 common space wasters. It is amazing how much we hold on to, like bulky appliances at number 10 that really should just be tucked away in a cupboard when you aren't using them.
And at number 9, we have those old toddler cups. If your kids have moved on to proper glasses, those plastic bottles are just taking up prime real estate. Same goes for those random mugs at number 7.
Oh, the vacation mugs. We all have them, right? Instead of keeping 20, they suggest keeping just a couple of favorites and taking photos of the rest to save the memory without the clutter.
Moving down the list, number 6 is kitchen roll holders. You can actually mount those under the cabinets to free up the counter. Then at number 5, it is those mismatched storage containers.
We have all searched for a lid that doesn't exist. They say at number 4, even your utensil containers might be unnecessary if you can just use a drawer. It's all about reclaiming that flat surface for actual cooking.
Now we are at the top 3, starting with expired food and spices. It is easy to forget about things in the back of the pantry, but checking quarterly really helps keep things safe and manageable.
Number 2 is cookbooks you never touch. Most of us just use our phones or the same 3 recipes anyway, so why keep the dust collectors? And the number 1 offender is excess pots and pans.
Right, you really only need the ones you use regularly. Getting rid of the duplicates makes it so much easier to find what you actually need for dinner.
Is powered by Crone.
Ever feel like your house is just closing in on you with way too much stuff?
Totally. Janine Matlow wrote about this 15-day challenge where you just toss 10 to 15 things a day. By the end, you've cleared out at least 150 items.
15 items sounds manageable, but does it actually make a dent? I mean, 15 knickknacks isn't exactly a cleared-out basement.
Well, she found it changed her mindset almost immediately. She actually broke the rules and stopped counting after 15 because she got on a roll.
So she just went room to room, like focusing on a pantry one day and a closet the next?
Kinda, but she jumped around to her trouble spots. She dug into hat boxes and even a trunk table that hadn't been opened in years.
Wait, what was in the trunk? That sounds like the classic clutter trap.
It was packed with old coffee table books. She gave those to a friend, and her husband even got rid of an old exercise machine to clear space in a spare room.
It's funny how one big thing like a treadmill makes the small stuff feel easier to handle. Did she end up filling those empty spaces back up?
No, she realized those empty boxes don't have to be filled right away. He gave her the momentum to keep going past the halfway mark.
Maybe I'll try the 15 items trick tonight and see what's hiding in my own storage bins.
AI Playback is powered by Crone.
Ever feel like your whole house is closing in on you and you just don't know which pile to tackle first?
I was listening to Joshua Fields Milburn talk about this, and he has a really specific starting point. He says, don't try to do the whole house, just pick one single thing.
Just one? That seems, I don't know, a bit too simple maybe. Does that really help when you've got a mountain of stuff?
Well, the idea is to build momentum. If you can declutter one item, you've started. People often share their first thing on YouTube to help others get that initial spark.
Okay, so it's more about breaking that mental block. Like, if I finally get rid of that old blender that hasn't worked since 2015, I might actually keep going.
Exactly. It is about taking that first step to prove to yourself that you can actually live with less. It's a low-pressure way to jump into a more minimalist lifestyle.
I guess starting small beats staying stuck in the mess.
Powered by Crone.
Ever wonder how people who literally write about home organization for a living keep their own places from becoming total disaster zones?
Leslie Corona just shared her personal rules for this, and she's been a cleaning editor for 10 years. She deals with a constant flow of mail-in test products, so she really has to be ruthless about her apartment's footprint.
Right, so it's not just a once-a-year spring cleaning thing for her then.
Not at all. It does a seasonal wardrobe edit and keeps a concealed donation area near her dining table. She even spends a few days in December doing a deep dive into spots she avoids the rest of the year, like the storage unit in her basement.
I like that idea of having a hidden bin. It makes it easier to toss things as you go, rather than waiting for a big session. Does she have any specific rules for what stays and what goes?
She's big on the one-in, one-out approach, especially for clothes and makeup. She gets a new blush, an old one has to go. Plus, she lives by a pare down more philosophy where she forces herself to find one extra thing to bitch even when she thinks she's finished.
Okay, that sounds intense but effective. What about the actual look of the place?
She avoids keeping food packaging on the counters and picks furniture with exposed legs. It creates that airy feel because you can see more of the floor. It's a clever way to trick the eye into seeing more space.
It sounds like it's really about maintaining those small nooks and crannies before they get overwhelming.
Playback is powered by Crone.
Have you ever found a box in the back of a closet and realized you had no clue what was even inside it?
Oh, all the time. Barbara Balacy-Zito actually wrote about this using a strategy from the minimalists called the didn't know rule. Basically, if you find something you didn't even know you owned, you have permission to just let it go.
Okay, that sounds simple enough, but is it actually effective for a big mess?
It really can be. Barbara tried it on 3 large storage boxes in her office that she hadn't opened in a year. She managed to clear them out in just 10 minutes.
Wait, 10 minutes? What was actually in there that she could toss so fast?
Well, one entire box was full of frames from 3 years ago. The photos inside didn't look good, and she already had the originals on her phone, so she'd completely forgotten they existed.
Right, so if you don't miss it, you don't need it. Did she just throw everything away?
Not everything. She kept the important stuff like recent tax returns and her personal journals, but she donated a bunch of unused office supplies and old writing pads to a local school.
So she went from 3 boxes down to just 1. That's a pretty solid win for a quick 10-minute session.
It really is. It just shows that if you aren't using it or even aware it's there, it's just taking up space.
I might have to go check my own office shelves now.
Playback is powered by Crone.
Why does the nightstand always end up being the place where random receipts and loose change go to die?
It's way too common. Monique Valeris actually spoke with an organizer, Shanice Johns, who says we're treating them like another junk drawer when they should really be about rest.
Right. So how do we actually fix it without just moving the mess somewhere else?
Well, you start by emptying the drawers completely. You should only put back things that support your nightly routine, like a specific book or maybe some hand cream.
Okay. I'm guessing that means my laptop and the work files I keep there have to go?
Exactly. Work items keep your brain in go mode. She also mentions moving things like food, vitamins, and medications to other parts of the house.
Makes sense. But how do you stop the lip balm and jewelry from just rolling around in there again?
Trays and drawer dividers are your best friend here. If you give everything a dedicated spot and do a quick check-in during your Sunday reset, the clutter shouldn't creep back in.
It sounds like a simple way to make the bedroom feel a lot more peaceful.
AI Playback is powered by Crone.
Could you actually clear out your entire life in just a month? Or is that just setting yourself up to fail?
Well, Lisa Milburn tried to find out. She jumped into this 31-day clutter reset because, honestly, she was voted most disorganized in high school, and her bosses used to literally run away from her messy cubicle.
Oh, that's relatable. So did she actually get through the whole house, or did she hit a wall?
She started strong with the visible stuff. Think countertops, the fridge, and she even got her family to help purge a mountain of shoes in the entryway. It felt great at first.
Right, but then what? It's always easy until you hit the sentimental stuff.
Exactly. She hit what she calls sentimental quicksand with her coffee mugs. Plus, she couldn't bring herself to toss the too tight clothes because she's actually hitting her fitness goals and wants to wear them again soon.
And life doesn't just stop for a closet purge, right? I imagine the timing was tough.
Exactly. Between heavy snow, house guests, and getting sucked into watching the pit, she totally stalled in weeks 4 and 5. She only finished about 60% of the list.
60% isn't a total loss, though. Did she actually get rid of anything substantial?
Oh yeah, she hauled out 5 bags of trash and 7 more for charity. She even found old towels to the animal shelter and a whole bag of reusable totes for a food bank. She's finishing the rest slowly, 2 spots a week, which sounds way more doable.
Okay, that's a much better way to handle it. Sounds like a win in the end.
Back is powered by Crone.
And cleaning out your house for 30 days straight, one tiny task at a time.
Right. Leslie Corona actually did exactly that. She wanted to tackle those messy black holes like the space under the kitchen sink or those overflowing storage baskets.
Wait, did she follow a specific plan or just wing it?
She actually built her own list of over 30 tasks. It would mix, like cleaning out nightstands on weekdays and bigger stuff like kitchen cabinets on the weekends.
I bet that got tedious pretty quickly. 30 days is a long commitment for just sorting through purses and junk drawers.
Exactly. She mentioned that by mid-January, the monotony really started to sink in, but around day 18, she noticed her home felt significantly lighter.
Right, that gradual change. Did she end up finding anything interesting during the purge?
She found a mountain of tote bags, vases, and candlesticks she had completely forgotten about. Her storage unit got so full she had to move her donation pickup 2 weeks early.
It sounds like a lot of work for a slow burn, but I guess it really changes how you look at your stuff.
It really does. It's a great habit builder for routine lovers, even if it feels like a marathon at times.
Definitely something to keep in mind for the next time the closets start overflowing.
iPlayback is powered by Crone.
Ever feel like your home is just one giant doom pile waiting to happen?
Oh, all the time. Lisa Milbrand just mapped out this 31-day clutter reset to kick off 2026, and it's actually pretty realistic. She's not trying to do it all at once.
Right, because nobody have 4 hours on a Tuesday for their basement. How does she actually fit it in with a job and, life?
She keeps the weekday stuff under 30 minutes. Think quick wins like the junk drawer or clearing the fridge. She saves the heavy lifting like those box 'em in the basement or the clothes closet for the weekends.
Okay, but what about the stuff you pull out? My hallway usually just fills up with bags I'm meaning to donate.
She's strict about that. One of her rules is no lingering. You post to your local Buy Nothing group that same weekend, or it goes straight to the donation center.
I like that. Does she suggest buying those fancy acrylic bins to get motivated?
Actually, no. She says to use what you have. Her big motivation trick is reserving specific audiobooks just for cleaning time. If you want to hear the next chapter, you gotta keep sorting.
That's clever. It turns the whole thing into a reward instead of a chore.
Back is powered by Crone.
Ever wonder why it's so hard to let go of that crusty bottle of hot sauce or those shoes you haven't worn in 3 years?
Right. Leslie Corona actually writes about this no touch, no thought method. Basically, if you haven't touched it or even thought about it in a year, it's gotta go.
Okay, so where do you even start with something like that without getting overwhelmed?
She suggests starting small, like the medicine cabinet. She cleared out old Band-Aids and expired sunscreens first to build up some momentum.
That makes sense. But what about the kitchen? I feel like my cabinets are just a graveyard for small appliances I never use.
Exactly. She actually got rid of a bulky coffee machine she hated pulling out of the cabinet and just stuck with her mocha pot. Even her freezer had stuff like frostbitten banana lumps and old bread she'd forgotten were even there.
I'm definitely guilty of that with clothes too, like keeping a trendy piece from 3 years ago just in case it comes back.
Right. But she's honest about it. If she didn't wear it last fall, she won't wear it this fall. It really simplifies the choice when you realize you aren't going to suddenly change your habits for an object.
It's a great reality check for anyone living in a tight space or just looking for a fresh start this season.
Back is powered by Crone.
You ever find yourself just staring at a messy room, completely frozen, because you don't even know where to start?
Oh, absolutely. Elizabeth Larkin writes that the key is setting that overwhelm aside by taking small, focused steps. She suggests stage-by-stage work, like starting with kitchen cabinets to make it more manageable.
Stage by stage. Okay. But what do I actually do with this stuff while I'm in the middle of it? I usually just end up making a bigger mess.
Well, you should have 5 containers ready before you even begin. Label them. Put away, fix or mend, recycle, trash, and donate. It keeps the decision-making fast, so you don't get stuck.
Fast is good. I've heard there are actual rules for this, right? Like mathematical ones?
Right, there's the 12-12 rule where you find 12 items to toss, 12 to donate, and 12 to put back. Or the 20-20 rule, if you can replace it for under $20 in under 20 minutes, just let it go.
That 2021 sounds brutal, but I guess it works. What about the stuff I'm attached to, though?
Try the 5-second rule. If you can't remember the last time you used it within 5 seconds, it's time to part ways. It forces you to be honest about what you actually need.
Okay, so if I start in the bathroom, do I just dump the whole medicine cabinet out?
Actually, yes. Take everything out and discard outdated makeup or meds. When you put it back, keep the daily essentials at eye level so you aren't digging for them every morning.
And for the kitchen, that's the real beast in my house.
Focus on the powerhouse storage first, like the pantry and upper cabinets. You can even tackle it by category, like just doing cutting boards or glassware one at a time to stay focused.
It sounds like a lot of work, but the idea of a less stressful space is pretty tempting.
It really is. Once you clear that 80% of stuff you only use 20% of the time, you'll find you can actually focus on what matters. Good luck with the sorting.
I think I'll start with those 5 bins today and see where the 5-second rule takes me.
Is powered by Crone.
Decluttering always feels like this massive mountain. But what if you just looked at it in 15-minute chunks?
Exactly. Patty Sheppel over at the Emery Mom wrote about this recently. She chatted with professional organizer Jerry Valdevera, who says clearing physical space actually frees up your mental energy too.
That makes totally sense. One of her big rules is staying in one spot. Like, don't get distracted and wander off to another room just because you found a stray toy.
Right, just set it aside for later. And she suggests setting a literal timer for 15 minutes. It turns the whole thing into a game and keeps you from getting overwhelmed.
The list they put together is incredible, like 50 different tiny spots you can tackle. Starting near the bottom at number 50, she mentions the pet area and the windowsill.
Then you've got things in the 40s, like the car trunk and the console. Moving into the 30s, she hits the laundry room, like the lost socks pile, or just the top of the washing machine.
The middle of the list is great, too. Things like the spice rack and bathroom countertop. But the top spots are really the big ones, like the entryway at number 4.
Oh, for sure. The top 3 are the staircase landing, the front hall table, and the number 1 spot is the foyer itself. It's about that first impression when you walk in.
And if you're stuck on sentimental stuff, she says, just ask yourself if you've used it in the last year. If you can't let it go, maybe frame it or turn it into a keepsake instead of just letting it sit in a drawer.
It's really just about taking those tiny windows of time you already have in your day. You don't need a whole weekend to start feeling more organized.
Just 15 minutes, and you're already on your way to a clearer head and a cleaner home.
AI playback is powered by Crone.
You honestly don't need to spend a